Hello guys, welcome to my channel and our first video, C# for beginners. Today we're gonna talk about control flow, and before starting our lesson, let's think about flow. What's flow? You can think about the flow of river. Yeah, yes. When river is flowing and then it divides to some parts. For example, some of the water of the river goes to right side, some of them goes to the left side or goes to straight. Yes, so it's called flow. For example, let me draw something for you to visually understand. It is kind of flow. It's going and it goes to this way, this way. Oh, to uh to this way and then to this way also. I think you got the idea. So it's river going to this flow and this flow, yeah? So that's flow. In terms of programming, it's also something like that. We're gonna execute some code or don't execute some code. By far, whatever we code we wrote, we ran it, except the comments, yes? So let's think about some code. For example, you are 12 years old, maybe. We're gonna write it int age 20, yes? So you are 20 years old. So we're gonna use if statement. So we're gonna check if the age is something. For example, age greater than or equal 18. We're gonna open curly brackets and console.writeLine. You are an adult. You are an adult, and we're gonna run this code. So as you can see, the output is you are an adult. So what happens here? We are defining our age as 20, and we are here checking if whether our age greater than or equal 18. If you have paid attention here, inside the if bracket, there should always be boolean data type. For example, we can do something like here. Boolean is adult, for example, is adult, yeah, is adult and age greater than equal 18, and we can put it here, is adult. Here you can see you are an adult. So as you can see, inside the if bracket, if round bracket, there should always be boolean statement, and inside the curly bracket, the statement that we wanna execute if that condition is true. So what if we are 17 years old? 17 years old. As you can see, nothing happens. So that's flow. Flow of a program is coming right here, and inside if it's just not going inside and just passing it and going its direction. So the code is stopping. That's called flow. So that's how you can use if statement to check something. So as you can see, this line not executed. So we can add some kind of Boolean operations here. For example, we can call it has license, yes, license, oh, and true. We're gonna call it age greater than equal 18 and has license. So you can drive. We're gonna write you can drive here. So if I run this code, it shows you can drive. So in that situation, it's checking first if age is greater than or equal, and then after it's being true, so it's being kind of true here, true. Here it's true, and then has license. Has license is all we defined here true. So it's checking true and true. True and true would become true. I'm going to show you one table for you. For example, if it's true and true would be true. Here, true and true is true. True and false, false would be false. And false and true, false and true would be false again. And false and false, false and false is false again. As you can see, we defined here our table, and it's for and we're going to talk about or. For example, true or true. It's going to output true, and true or false. So it would be true. Uh, false or true. It's going to be true. And here, false or false. So it will be false. So you can memorize it or just understand it in an easy way. If both conditions are true, it's the only case that it can be true. If both conditions are or all of the conditions are true, it can be true. Or at least there's one false in and condition, and it will definitely be false. Conversely, in our situation, if there is at least one true, it will be wholly true. So memorize it, or you can just approach it in a logic way. So that's for if. And for example, what if we wanna tell the user they can't drive if they don't have license, or they are less than 18? So in that situation, we need to use else. Else, we're gonna write else console dot write line. You cannot drive yet. So let's run the code, and it will show you can drive. And what if we do something like that? False. Here, you cannot drive yet. As you can see, it's coming here checking whether age is greater than or equal 18. It's true and has license, but we don't have license, so it's becoming false. And as I said before, true and false would become false, so the flow of the program does not come into this logic and goes to else. As you have paid attention, on else there is no condition. That means any condition that does not work for if work for else. So you cannot drive yet. That's it. And you can ask, what if I want to add some kind of conditions myself after if? You can do that with else if. And you need to add some kind of condition. For example, age greater than equal or as license. So we are checking at least one of them are true. We're gonna write console.writeLine. Here, you cannot drive because you don't have license, or you are not over 18. And let's run it. You cannot drive because you don't have a license. So let's check the program how it's going. Age hour 18 and has license false. Yes. It's checking age greater than or equal 18. It's true and has license. No, we don't have license. It's false and it's becoming false. So we don't go into this flow and then we check else if age is greater than equal. Yes, it's true or has license. It's false. So this condition becomes true and then we're gonna check you cannot drive because you don't have a license or you are not over 18. So that works. As you can see, we can add else if as much as we want. That's how they work. And I want to show you one example about being, how can I say, being cautious about the order of else if. We're gonna make some create variable called marks and we're gonna make it 19. And if marks greater than or equal 100 or 100 console dot write line perfect. Yes, perfect. Else if marks greater than or equal 50, here, and else console dot write line none of them. None of them. We can write as none of them. Okay, so if I run this code, your marks are over 50. But actually, logically, if you think logically, our marks should be at least more than 70. Yes, we're gonna write it here 70, but still it's showing it's over than 50. So that's why you should be cautious about order. For example, your our mark is 70. Yes, exactly 70. But our saying not 70, 75. Make it 75. Yes, it's gonna be 5, 4. Yes, and it's still showing it's over than 50. But uh, what do you think? If my age is 20 and if I say I am over 18 and what if I say I'm over 15? So which one are more precise about my age? I think the age that's the statement that I said I'm over 18. That means that are much closer to my real age. So in that situation also our original mark is 74 but we are saying as it's over 50 instead of over 70. So that's why you should be careful about order. So we should put this one before that one because we should check the higher condition before the lower condition. As you can see here, it's showing it's over than 70. So that's one point. You should be cautious about order in else if else statements. So that's all for if else statements. And there can be lots of chains. You can add as much as you want else if situations. And there is a there's a situation called ternary operator. I'm going to talk about it. For example, this one. For example, according to our marks, we can put some grades. Yes, and string grade equals marks greater than 18. So as you can see, it's kind of strange at first, but it's much more better than using if else statements. So if you look at here, we are defining the variable called grade, and we are assigning some value. But how? We are checking if marks are greater than 80, we are assigning a to great variable. Else, that means else, if it's not greater than 80, we are calling it as b. So let's check what's the result of great here. Let's check. It's b. Uh, it's actually b. As you can see, it's b. So that's one of the ways to, how can I say, to use efficiently our logic or ternary object instead of writing if else. But in some situations, people want to write some kind of things, make some, how can I say them, useless complication. For example, they can add some kind of things like, how can I say here, marks greater than 9. Oh, here. And they can do something like that. As you can see, it's still something like that. And we can put 90 here and 80 here. Also, you're gonna check from the left side. It's the order matters here also, and we can 81. So as you can see, the result is A. The result is A. So it's called ternary operation, but I'm not suggesting you to use lots of logics here, but the most best approach is to use only two conditions like here, like that. Only one if and else statement, but overcomplicating is kind of hard to read and understand for other users, and also you, after a long time, you came to your code and don't understand what's going on. So let's dive in switch statement then. Switch statement is much more, how can I say, easily I can say it's something like that. For example, we have string a equals name, oh, name, we can say John, yes, and name equals John, and we're gonna do something like that, yes, some kind of action. So in switch case, we can do without equal sign. So let's talk about switch day. For example, we can say int day number. Yes, day number equals 3. Day number, that means Monday is 1, Tuesday is 2, Wednesday is 3, something like that. And we're gonna write switch keyword, switch, and then we're gonna put round brackets and day number here, and then it's curly brackets and case 1. That means whenever the day number equals to 1, and we can, okay, console, oh, oh, case 1, so right, right line, console right line, Monday, yes, and break here, case 2, console dot right line, Tuesday, break. I'm gonna explain what break is doing here later. Something like that. And what if we run this program? Mm, As you can see, it's showing Wednesday. So let's analyze the code and understand what's going on here. So we are defining the variable. Day number is 3. So we are defining integer and assigning 3 to this variable. And we are putting this variable in the switch operation and we are checking each case. So that means that literally equals if day, if day number equals 3, and then we are doing some action instead of within the curly brackets we are putting 2 dots and then console.writeLine something and then break, and then I'm going to show you why we are using break later. So we are checking if it's 1, we should print Monday. If it's 2, we should print Tuesday. If it's 3, we should print Wednesday, and so on. So in default situation, we should print other days after Wednesday because we already defined Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So default situation is looks like kind of else in if else statements else. So that means all of the possible conditions except these 3 conditions comes to default situation. For example, if we define it day number 5, it's gonna print other days after Wednesday. As you can see, it shows other days after Wednesday. So and I'm gonna show you why we are using break. What if we don't use break here? We're gonna put each one and it's gonna be Monday. And what if we delete break? And as you can see, it's showing error also. And in a case it does not show error and you try this, it shows Monday first, and then after that it how can I say, it prints Tuesday also, because there should be some break here in order to say switch statement, yes, we found our value that we wanted, and then we print it, and we should break the condition, and we should break the outside switch statement. That's why we should use break statement after each condition that we assign some kind of value or some statement that we want to output. So that's how works switch statement. So you can think why we should use switch if we have the if situation. As I said before, it avoids writing conditions like equals equals or something like that, and much more user friendly. And apart from that, it's easy to in that situation we are comparing the number, but what if it's kind of string, something like that, days Monday, and we should print numbers. So in that case it would be much more useful to use switch case, and it's actually older version of switch situation. Then let's try some modern C# version of switch case. So it's we can write it like something like that. Day name, and it will be something like day number switch, day number switch, and then yes, like that, and then 1 Monday, 2 Tuesday, day day for Thursday, and so on. And for default, you should write underscore and do something like here. And it's instead of default, you're gonna write another, for example, another day. Yeah, and you should write here, and we're gonna console dot write line day name. As you can see, it's Monday because we defined here day number is as 1, and as you can see, it's much more simple and modern look of switch statement. But in the documentaries there are 2 versions of switch statement. You can check in Microsoft's official documentations. So it's useful to learn both of them and do some practice with both of them. So at the end of the video, I want to give you some mini challenge. write a program that asks a user for a month's number from 1 to 11 and prints the season using if-else chain, then rewrite the same logic using a switch expression. Okay, so that's for our today's video, and see you later. Take care.